Good morning and welcome to this weekly market update from AGM Markets. Today's the 5th of June 2013. What we'll do today is go through some technical analysis on Euro dollar cable, dollar Swiss, dollar yen and dollar CAD. We will not be making any trade calls recommendations in this video. You trade at your own risk. If you could please read our full disclaimer on our website www.agmmarkets, that would be great, thanks. For any new followers, we have 3 moving averages on each of these charts. The red one is a 50 simple moving average, the blue is a 100 simple moving average, and the gold is a 200 simple moving average. Okay, and what's been going on? This is Euro dollar daily chart. It's really, we're still just chopping around in this range. Really, it really hasn't been too exciting in terms of the euro dollar. So it's been trading inside this range since February, really. So you got the one sort of, well, you can call it 132s and 127.50s. So you're talking about a 400 pip range here. Nothing too exciting, but of course there's still plenty of trading opportunities if you flip it to the shorter term chart. So I mean, I'll just remind you of the fibs that are still in play. This is the big fib, so you got from highs to lows there. The 50% is still in play, so the sellers who came in at one spot 32.28, so they're trying to push this down to the 0% level, which is at one spot 27.46 line. Let's just try and do this fib. So yes, that's the real focus on the daily. I mean, we're also above these moving averages now. Well, we're sitting around them really on the 200-day. We can see a bit clearer if I zoom in. The 200-day moving average is right on that at the minute, but we're above the 100-day and the 50-day moving average on this daily chart. If we flip it to the 4-hour, one decent setup that I noticed, I think this was last week, was this fib here. Clear swing low to this swing high here, so I'll just draw it a little bit wider so you can see a bit clearer. We came in off this 50% here at one spot, the 29.50s level, and that's rotated high. You can see we've closed above the 0% here, and it's now acting as support. So previous resistance, now acts as support. Classic sort of technicals going on there. So I mean, it looks like people are trying to buy this dip here and just try and bring this price back here. It's trying to grind higher. I think we had some Eurozone data at 10 o'clock. I think that's quite weak though, so that's currently pushing it down on today's candles. And if we flip it to the 4-hour, you can see the 1-hour, so you can see that clearer fib there. Nicely came off the 100 SMA there as well. It's a nice bit of confidence, and you can currently see that we're sitting on the 50 SMA. So that's pretty much euro dollar. Nothing too exciting. It's just trying to find some direction really. I mean, if you flip it to the weekly, this fib setup here is still technically in place. This long one here you've got, so the bulls are trying to press that higher, but then you've also got the bigger one from the highs up here to the lows here, and that 50% setup still in place. I think that's why we're getting a bit of indecision here, because you've got 2 big setups there still in play. So that's the weekly sort of context. You can see on the 4-hour here, it's just been quite choppy really. I mean, there's still some decent setups, but it has been quite a tricky chart. Let's have a look at the cable. What do we have on the cable? So you've got this big fib setup here from the highs to the lows. Surprise, surprise, we've come off the 50% here. It's trying to push this down. So the bears are trying to bring this down to the one spot 48.30s level for that setup to be completed. And you also have the smaller one here. So the sellers trying to bring this down, that fib there from highs to lows. We had some good data out of the UK. This one I think was services PMI. So euros catching a nice little bid at the minute. So if we flip it to the shorter time frame, let's look at the 4-hour. You can see that people are starting to buy these dips here. You got one dip there, that's nice, and another one here. I think they're both playing off 38.2% retracements there. So keep an eye out on that, and that's pretty all the focus really. If you flip it to the 1-hour, you can see it a bit clearer. Clear dips there, and this one here is nicely supporting off the 50 SMA. as well. So that's all I'm really looking at on cable, to be honest with you. Dollar Swiss. The first thing you noticed here, I mean, we've spoken about before this setup here. That played out from the highs to lows there. That got bought up and we hit the 0%. So now the next sort of fib will be this one here from the low of that previous 50% level. Well, it's kind of playing 61.8 really. You can see it here. This one here, it spiked it a bit, it bounced off the 100-day moving average, closed to after 61.8% retracement, and it's trying to make a rotation higher. So that is the focus for me personally on this daily chart. And I think even if you flip it to the 4 hour, that's the focus as well. The 1 hour, people are trying to sell these dips here, but the daily chart's the most important one here on this dollar Swiss one, in my opinion. You've also got a trend line support there as well. Keep an eye out on that. It may want to come down and test that, but it is currently holding the 61.8% retracement. It also closed above the 50 SMA there as well, so nice technicals there in terms of the moving averages. Dollar yen, it's just been trickling down really. I mean, it's due a massive retracement. It has been due because it's just been really grinding higher. Of course, it doesn't have to retrace. The big level is really this 100 level here, which we're just below currently, which could be quite significant really. We've had daily closes below this, but you can also see if you look to the left here, there's also a previous resistance zone, so it could start to act as support. It's trying to hold support on the 50 SMA as well, although we have had a daily candle close, so it may want to come down and test this 100-day moving average as well. Key fib that could be interesting to see is this one here, from lows to the highs there. If we come down to the 50%, see what happens there. In terms of the shorter time frames, so the 4 hour, decent little trend line resistance there that's playing out, but no, not a massively interesting chart. The dollar yen of interest. It's just not a lot of intraday volatility. Much more interesting charts out there in my opinion, but it's all about the 100 level really. It's pretty much sitting just below at the minute, and this is the key level really, which you can see. I'll zoom in there. So this previous resistance zone around here is trying to act as support at the minute. So that's the 99.80s really. Yeah, that's the level there that's getting played out. You can see previous resistance there, failed to get daily candlestick closes above it, now acting as support with failing to get daily candlesticks closes below it. So it's the 99.70s there on dollar, and that's the key level for me. Okay, let's have a look at the dollar CAD chart. Dollar CAD has been quite interesting, especially, well, we'll start with this daily chart. So you've got a nice trend line support here, which is holding. This is also playing off two key fibs as well. So the first one was that one there from highs to the lows. We came off at the 50% level here. Well, let's call it the 50% and 61.8% range really. So you potentially buy after 50% with stops below 61.8. That's what I leave on this chart. That got bought up very nicely, took out the highs. If you then extend your low to the bounce low, so this one here, and then you extend to the highs, then you can see we came off the 61.8 and nice trend line support as well, confluence. And it's also 200-day moving average as well, right on this trend line. So that was a lovely little area which got bought up. So now the next one really, you could say, would be off the trend line again, the lows there to this high here. It's chopping around a bit at the minute, but it looks like it may want to come down. So see what happens. If we come down, it most probably will want to test this this trend line support, or maybe it may just want to come off on the fibs here and bounce higher. But that's the key focus for the daily chart in my opinion. The 4 hours really interesting. We had lots of these bounces here, so a lot of dip buyers coming in. You had a dip there, that was a 50%, a dip there, that was another 50%, another dip there, that was a 50%, and then we started to chop around it. This was a bounce of a 61.8, I think. It did take out the high, but not by much, and now you can see it's struggling to break another high. So it looks like it's just run out of steam really. It's making lower highs here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it come down and test this trendline support, or even the Fibonacci retracements. Okay, then that's all for today. That's all for the main sort of forex pairs. If there's any other forex pairs you want to have a look at next week, then feel free to comment under this YouTube video that I'll post up. Also on our Twitter feed, which is at AGM Markets. Yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you found that useful. Have a great rest of the week trading, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.